Welcome to the Startup Show. I'm your host, Peter Patros, and in today's episode, we have someone very special. Her name is Rasha Alkhshali.
Yes, correct.
Pronounced that well?
Yes, very well.
Fantastic. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you very much for coming on here. And
It's lovely being here.
yeah, how do you find the studio? Do you like it?
I already told you I'm not a fan of orange color, but everything looks lovely. I love the wall there with all this old-fashioned CDs.
It's good. It's a nice vibe. But you're into fashion yourself, I know.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit about your fashion sense, your fashion tastes. But obviously, we're talking about business today. So we'd love to learn more about your businesses, more than one plural.
Yeah.
Tell us, what are they called firstly?
So I have two businesses, as you mentioned. One of them is Queen Bee, and
Like-
I'll tell you the story
As
behind
in-
the name.
Beyonce? Queen Bee?
No, I'm not a big fan of Beyonce.
She's good.
She's good looking, but I don't like her music.
All of the music or?
Not all, just not a big fan. Not, I see a lot of people that are really deep fan.
They're
of
like
Beyonce.
diehard fans.
Yeah, I'm not from that people. I just, pick and choose from her songs. Like 1, 2, 3 songs maximum.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So first business, Queen Bee.
Yes, and the other
No
one,
affiliation to Beyonce.
No.
Okay.
I'm kind of okay. There's a dark rumor.
We'll get into that.
I'm too scared not to say that I'm not, it's not affiliated to her. I mean, thanks Beyonce for all for being, for the success behind my brand.
So your
Maybe
brand.
it's because of, the name being Queen Bee. That's why it's kind of successful because,
You piggybacked, or there was some
Kinda,
piggybacking back and forth. You
No.
helped her, she helped you.
Maybe, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other one is Ain. Ain yes, exactly. It's a translation to an eye in Arabic. I wanted it to be something, linked to Arab culture. So, yeah, basically. But let me tell you the story about Queen Bee and why we named it Queen Bee. So, in every beehive, there is only one queen.
Yes.
And that's it. Just one queen in a beehive. And this is kind of similar to a community of, obviously, females. Whoever dresses from Queen Bee is the queen of the hive, of the community.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
So you are empowering the woman that
Exactly.
wears your product.
Exactly.
Interesting. So that's some psychology that's
Yeah.
going on with it as well. So
Yeah.
you're getting into that mental space.
Yeah.
Not
I don't
just
think
that
we
physical dress
conveyed,
space.
we translated it very much. I don't think a lot of people know about this, but that was the intention.
Well, podcasts like this allow more people to realize that they
Yeah.
can too
Yeah.
be queens. And I like it.
Yeah.
What was how did you guys, is it just you, by the way, or do you work with any people to
No,
support?
I have a partner.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you guys come to that name? Like, what was the thinking behind it? Why did you choose Queen Bee over so many things? So you're obviously the queen of the hive.
Exactly. So
You
we
guys fan
wanted
of
to-
honey?
No, not really. But it was, the feeling behind it. We didn't want to just name it something cliche or something repetitive because the name is everything, really. Sometimes because you build so much brand awareness and you work so much behind, getting the name to be a top of mind kind of a brand. And the first thing they remember is the name and the feeling they get when they're dressed in that certain product you give them or, use the product that you give them. So it's basically we wanted them to have that sense of being a queen, regardless of what they're wearing, but, empower them more when they're dressing into something. And by the way, Queen Bee is a abaya brand.
Okay.
Yeah, it's only abayas.
Okay.
So it's a conservative kind of like an abaya.
Yeah,
I don't know.
piece of clothing.
Abaya, piece of
that
clothing.
females
Yes,
would wear.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's very modest. So I wanted, especially the people who prefer modest fashion, to feel like they're no less than anyone else. Because I've heard this from so many people who usually dress modest versus other, and they said that they cannot really feel confident because they're the kind of the way they're dressing,
Yeah.
right? So in this way, we're offering them something modest. I personally really like modest fashion because it's just classy, you know. And if you look at history, all the queens of all the countries used to dress in really modest fashion. You don't see them wearing really short skirts, or I'm not against it, by the way. I do wear shorts and skirts and everything, but it's just, you know, it's more classy if you're modest. Yeah. And this was the whole concept of offering something modest, fashionable, and at the same time very, very special. And we were also focusing on the name as a Queen Bee and building that brand awareness that it's not only that, it's also something that, you know, you're a queen in the hive that you're in, or in the community that you're in. You're not just confident in wearing something modest, but you're also, you know, you're a queen.
That's very interesting, and I like that because for multiple reasons. You've got obviously a unique brand name. It's easy to pronounce to all of your audience.
Yeah.
It's memorable, and you've also got a feeling that comes with the brand. When they buy your product, they also buy into the mentality that they too want to be seen more so as the queen. And I like it. It's two ways that it's interesting. But you talked a little bit earlier about the importance of trying to build that brand name over the time. It's the first thing people will remember, and over time you're going to build it to becoming more and more prominent in the minds of your target audience. Mm-hmm. It begs the question, how come you have another brand also alongside that? Are they two different audiences you're trying to build brands for?
Absolutely, spot on. It's different audience. So the other one is basically focused on dresses, also mostly modest, not necessarily suitable for all audiences. So the abayas is suitable for hijabis and non-hijabis, right? So the people who are looking for extremely modest and just modest, right? But Ain is more for people who want to wear something modest, but not necessarily like fully covering, right?
Okay.
So, and it's more of occasion dresses, not something daily, not something they can wear on a daily basis.
So like for parties or engagements?
Birthday parties, like small parties, like small, you know, special occasions. Birthday parties, gender reveal, you know, engagement parties, you know, kind of a small parties.
That's good. But it must be difficult though. Like, it's hard enough as it is to build a business and a brand on its own, like one.
Yeah.
Trying to do two at the same time, it must be a bit of a challenge, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's not easy. And this is what people don't see. It's not easy. It's never easy. It's always ups and downs. And you face so many challenges that you never thought it exist, you know?
But you're like, a problem shared is a problem halved. You have a partner with Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Is that the same partner?
Yeah.
So you're both partnered on the same two brands?
Yes, absolutely.
Fantastic.
So we clubbed them under one group, which is Threads & Co. So the Threads & Co, I mean, this is our future vision, to have multiple brands.
I was going to say, does it stop at these two or are you going to have a lot more?
Yeah, of course, because, you know, that was the reason why we started. We see a huge gap in the market. And if you look at all the businesses that exist, fashion, I'm talking about, you know, exclusively fashion industry. If you look at all the businesses that are available in Iraq, they are, I would say, I mean, just a rough calculation, 85% of them are owned, run, and everything managed and everything by men. Which is very ironic because imagine, I mean, I'm not trying to be sexist here, right?
I'm going to say it.
I'm completely with you know, with giving equal opportunities to both genders, but it's just physically.
How can a man understand
what women need?
Maybe, I don't know, but
imagine.
But they've been doing it a good. If you're saying they are the ones that are, you know, they're leading the area for this long. They must be doing an okay job, right?
No, there's a huge gap because when do you know that they're doing a great job? When majority, I would say 90% of people can shop and can easily find something they want to wear where they live, right? Across Iraq. But that's not the case. I struggle a lot. I never shop from Iraq. I always order online or buy when I travel, and it's not ideal. It's not nice at all because you want to try it on. You want to, you want to get a feeling.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's difficult.
And I'm not talking about dresses. I'm talking about daily things that you wear on daily basis. Like you have, for example, like a podcast, for example, and I wanted to wear something new. I don't have the luxury of just going into a mall and looking for, going into a shop and buying something and that's it, because I cannot find what I like. It's not that I cannot, like, definitely.
The options aren't...
Very limited.
Yeah.
Very limited options.
So there's an opportunity here for people like yourself to innovate, to try and bring those options that you have to search for outside of the country, to bring them when you're traveling, or to order online from overseas companies that might have what you want, but you won't know for sure if it's what you want until it arrives, you try it on.
Exactly.
That's a lot of resistance. There's risk there. There's time
High
delay.
risk. That time.
Probably cost as well would be much more.
Yeah.
You can save people time, probably save them on some cost. They don't have to go elsewhere abroad. You can create something locally that people like, that they can get and try on instantly.
Yeah.
And enjoy. That's the idea.
Absolutely. So this is the gap that I was talking about. But it's really important to also understand why was this created? Why do we have this gap in the community or in Iraq in general?
Why?
Because the businesses are all run by men. And again, I'll go to back to my point. I'll put it in another way. Imagine you going to a female tailor to
buy a suit.
To tailor a suit, to customize a suit for yourself. Maybe she can do it. I'm not saying she can. Maybe she's experienced in it. But these would be like 1% of the tailors.
They're a dime. Yeah, they're like a needle in a haystack. They're not that many.
Then not generally.
For the record, I have had a female tailor one of my suits before, and fantastic job. But
it's not a common.
She is one of, let's say,
500.
I think
100.
yeah, like she's probably the only one I've actually had in my life that's tailored a suit for me. So
and you're lucky enough to find her.
Yeah.
So many other people are not lucky to know about her, to know that she exists, and even if they know, she will not have the time to
exactly cater for everyone.
Exactly.
That's very interesting. But two brands, which came first, the Queen or the Eye?
The Queen Bee.
Queen Bee.
Yeah, because that was, I think abaya business we have a huge gap in Iraq, in the market. And especially when it comes to abayas, all the businesses that are in Iraq are, they're just traders.
Yeah.
They travel somewhere with, high, like the Gulf area mostly, or Turkey, where they manufacture abayas for wholesale. They just go, they pick the design. They don't even know if it's nice, if it fits the weather. There is no thinking behind it. They're just, this is X design, it costs X much. That's it. It's just a math equation for them. This is how much I can make money out of it. Let's buy 50 pieces, ship it to Iraq, put it in a store or online, whatever, and then sell. That's it. This is the whole equation. But does it really satisfy the customer? No. Not the quality, not the fabric. There aren't many options, and the options that are available, and especially they're all offering the same item.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm not in the market for these, but I've seen when you go out to the markets, the bazaar, you can just see them, and there's so many different options, but you're not sure which one is quality, which one isn't. It's hit and miss, trying to find the right supplier for. Yeah, that must be a challenge in itself. Yeah. But what you're promising is the right options with the right quality.
Absolutely.
For the right price.
And the right fitting, most importantly. The fitting that makes you feel, confident.
Yeah. For you, when did you start Queen Bee? How long ago was it? How many years ago now?
I think in COVID, 2020.
2019, 2020, that time?
2020.
Okay.
I think.
So you've got almost 5 years of...
Sorry, 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
So almost 4 years of being in business, operating Queen Bee. How did you... What signs of success made you realize that, yes, now it's time to create another brand? What were your indicators? What led you to decide that?
So when we started Queen Bee, we kind of offered a second option, which is somehow it's hard to explain it to a man because it's not something you have in your closet or you wear, but it's something between abayas and between dresses.
Okay.
Something we call khaftan.
Okay.
And even khaftan can be misunderstood because khaftan is actually a Moroccan dress, but the khaftan that I am referring to is not. It's just something like a dress, but it's a modest dress. Can be worn for inside home, for Ramadan, for these occasions. So we started offering these products as well on Queen Bee, and people were responding positively. They liked it.
So this is good. You almost tested
Kind
this
of
new
tested,
type of product
exactly.
on your existing brand. You
Exactly.
realized, okay, we can either dilute our existing brand and keep adding more of this, or we can use this verification from the audience that they're interested in this. Instead of diluting Queen Bee, let's keep it focused.
Exactly.
And let's create another brand alongside it.
Exactly. That was the thinking.
Interesting. When did that happen? How long have you had Ain?
Ain was 2 years ago, I guess.
Okay, so 3 years, let's say 2 years of Queen Bee, and then 2 years of Ain. We're approaching the 2 year mark, though. Does that mean we've got another brand coming out soon?
That's a nice one. I don't think so, honestly. I'm just so hooked with these two brands. I'm trying to make it work, have a very bright future for both of the brands, and see how where life will take us.
Yeah. How is it managing both of them at the same time? Is it easier because you have now more customers and you can fulfill more orders and maybe hire more staff? Or is it harder because they're two different types of customers, maybe two different types of... Is there any overlap in terms of resources that you can join together to make life easier? Or
So resources are mutual. So we've divided the kind of the work between me and my partner. I do the designs, the modeling for the page, and PR basically, and she does everything else like logistics, digital marketing, taking care of the customers, customer experience, and everything. And we also have the sales team, the people who are answering on the page and getting orders, shipping these orders, because this is, I think, the most tiring part of the whole thing.
It's quite time consuming and you need to be focused and doing it properly. Otherwise, people will have a bad experience before they've even bought the product.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
if you give them a bad experience there, then that's something in their mind. They're going to be thinking,
It's gonna
after I
stick
buy
there.
it, am I going to get what I was promised? Is it going to arrive on time?
It's
Customer service is key.
and especially in Iraq, people have been scammed so many times by online pages. You have no idea how much we struggle convincing people that it's really good quality. It's exactly what you see in the picture. It's not different, because this is what people have faced so many times with so many different online businesses. They promise you something, and then when it comes, it's completely different, or they're not. I don't think that the intention was being dishonest. It's just that they don't know what they're selling.
Yeah.
Which is hard to convey to the customer.
And it's a little bit short-term thinking maybe for the people that do scam, or they don't
Absolutely.
focus on these areas that you're focusing on, because you can't build a brand. You can't build a
Absolutely.
loyal customer base. And they might make a quick buck. They might make some money in the short term, but long term, they haven't built anything of true value. They've not built any loyalty, and they can't expand and create other brands or other associations, because you are, let's say, you said you're the PR, you're the face of the brand.
Absolutely.
So if someone has a bad experience with your product, it reflects badly on you. So you've put your neck on the line where
Yes.
maybe others who are selling a similar product
Yes.
aren't, and they're much more, feel like they're safer when they want to scam someone.
Absolutely.
But for you, you're not going to stand by that.
Yeah.
You're a woman of integrity. You're not going to accept that from your brand.
Absolutely.
You're not going to accept that. You treat maybe your fans as if they're your family.
Absolutely.
So this is very good. And I think in this day and age now, 2025, the power of personal branding has never been higher, because we have so many AI generated images, AI generated influencers, and also there's so much noise. But someone that is an advocate of quality, and you have a brand associated with that sells the right products for the right sizes, for the right price, then I think it's a fantastic approach. But people are buying on your page. So is it mostly Instagram sales, or do you have, what are the avenues people can approach your product and get it? Do you have a website or not yet?
Website? No, not really. I mean, we wanted to create a website, but it was just a cost. We didn't really see it necessary at the time being, because let's be honest, the Iraqis who are, let's say, who would make a purchase from a website, it's still not the culture. It's not a culture in Iraq yet. There are maybe 10% of the community that does, but it's not the majority, and especially not our target audience. They're not people who would go on a website and make a purchase, and especially payment gateways are not yet not that a thing in Iraq yet.
But if people want to pay, do they pay by cash mostly or
Yes.
by card?
They can pay both now with FIB in
Yeah.
place. Sorry guys, I'm not sure if we can.
Speak freely.
Yeah.
This is your house.
I'm not sure if you want to mention any other
Don't worry.
company
Speak
names.
freely. It's all good. But yeah, so they can pay online and they can pay in cash. But would you say the split is still, let's say, 80% cash, 20% online?
95% cash and 5% through bank.
That must be a challenge. But then, yeah. But this is, you're focusing on Iraq, and this is the environment that we're in.
Exactly. Yeah.
Have you sold overseas before to any neighboring countries or other?
Yeah, we've had orders to the US, to the UK, to Gulf countries. We have we have one warehouse, the main warehouse in Iraq, but we have another warehouse in Dubai. It's a smaller warehouse, smaller quantities, smaller stock, smaller everything, because our focus is not to sell international. It was initially and still is for the Iraqi market, for the Iraqi ladies. So, but we have the Dubai warehouse for international sales. We are also available on e-commerce. It's an app that is mostly famous for abayas in the Gulf area. We're also available there. It's basically for, international sales, because it's much easier to ship from Dubai versus, Iraq.
Yeah.
It's much less expensive.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. So you have like a logistical base there that takes care of these international orders. Interesting. So the borders of Iraq are not a limiting factor. You found a way to still provide your product to international customers. Okay. But then in the future, do you see that becoming more prominent, more international offerings that you're going to want to make? Do you feel like this is something that, with the more awareness you're creating around your products, this is something to increase in time? Have you got any plans for how you could maybe navigate that if you do have a surge in interest in orders outside of the Iraq region?
Look, to be super honest with you, the focus right now is Iraq.
Okay.
Because Iraqi market is very promising, and it's just come out of, it's developing right now, and it's the time where Iraqi entrepreneurs or business owners, it's their time now to kind of grow their businesses, because everything is growing right now. The economy is improving. Everything is becoming easier than before. So it's the right time, I think, to focus more on the Iraqi market and not to waste effort to the international market, because international market is kind of saturated.
There is a lot of options.
So many options. Unlimited options.
Is there even options for your product there? Like a lot of options?
Unlimited.
It's very interesting, because you're right. This here, it's thriving in a way because entrepreneurship, I've met so many interesting entrepreneurs since I've been here, and it's as if it's never ending. It's like everyone seems to have either a side hustle or a side hustle that's now become a main hustle. And it's like something is happening here. There is it's like developing in a way that is it's empowering people that have the drive, have the ambition to want to not even create something new. They can bring something that works from the outside of the country, and they can implement it here in a way that conforms to local culture, to local mindsets, and they can find success, which is very empowering, actually, and very encouraging, and this is one of the reasons why we're having these kind of conversations, to encourage more people to take that leap, because as you said, the wind is blowing with the sails. You can just create a ship, and because of the environment we're in now, it's just going to go forward, because the wind is blowing in the right direction.
Absolutely. I encourage all of my friends to do something, whatever they're passionate about, just do it. except for cafes and restaurants,
Oh.
because we've had enough.
People love eating here, though. Come on. I mean, it's a
I mean,
need. Like, it is a need. It's
It
one
is.
of life's needs. At least 3 times a day, most people want to eat.
Yeah.
So, if you create
But it's
something,
enough. I think we have enough options. I don't know. Maybe it's not very enough, but I mean, at the time being, there are so many other people that are thinking about cafes and restaurants. They
Yeah.
can do that, but for the other, for my friends, they can start thinking about something that actually contribute to our lifestyle. And this is, I think, something that really is important to think about. Lifestyle right now, if you think about our lifestyle, like in general, yeah, in Kurdistan it's much better than other places, but still it needs development. We need to kind of change that lifestyle. We want to, I mean when I have free time, I don't know what to do with it, and on every single weekend I find myself hanging around with friends in cafes and restaurants, and then the last time I was so sick of it, I said, guys, let's find something else to do other than meeting somewhere eating. And then we started looking into other venues like sports, but it's not, when you go there you see that the business is struggling. We were on a tennis court the other day, and it wasn't that you can kind of tell when a business is
it's
thriving.
doing well or not. Yeah.
Exactly. You can tell that it's not doing well. And I shared it on my social media, and people started asking me, where is that? How did you go? They are interested to know more, but they don't know how to reach there. They need someone to show them.
So, but you, by going there and by taking a photo or a video and showing the people that follow you, this exists, you created an interest to the place where
Yes.
they might have not known it existed beforehand.
Exactly.
So, to be honest, that's probably a fault maybe on the business. They haven't marketed. Marketing
Maybe
is to
you're
make
right.
known.
Yeah.
And if you've created something new that some society could potentially value from, associated with that creation is the duty to make it known to people in a way that they can understand, they can engage with it, so they can come and know it exists, and they can do different activities, not just eat, not just go to a
Yeah.
cafe, not just...
But people should also be driven enough to look for
Yeah.
alternative options than just going to restaurants.
There's a responsibility on both sides.
Exactly, because I'll tell you something. Marketing is not easy, first, and it's not cheap. It
No.
costs a lot of money to do marketing. And not a lot of businesses appreciate the value of marketing, and not a lot of businesses are willing to invest in marketing, because it's kind of long term. It's never, you cannot see results. You cannot do marketing now and then or let's say start a plan today and see results tomorrow. It doesn't work that way unless you're sponsoring on social
Well, this is the
media.
thing. Direct response marketing, like creating ads on Instagram, you
Yeah.
can definitely get inquiries, and then those inquiries turn into sales. But stuff like what you would do perhaps related to brand awareness or brand building,
Oof, this-
that is a long time horizon.
Absolutely.
Like it's a long-term investment.
Yes.
It's not an immediate short-term cash in. No. You're building the brand. You might see the benefits of what you've done today 18 months from now.
Absolutely.
But a lot of people, they don't have that patience to see it long-term.
Not only the patience, the fund.
The ability, yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a privilege that some businesses don't have. They start really, really small, and then they are giving two options: either to invest more in the product, or stocks and etc., or in marketing. This is where being experienced come in handy, because you have to balance.
Yeah.
You cannot invest all your fund into the product without having any money for or budget for marketing, because it's not going to sell itself. I don't know, unless it's
You can learn it.
water.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Again, that's a need. Water is a need. Food is a need.
Yeah.
These are the kind of things that people always want because they need it. If they don't have it, they won't survive. But then that's where loads of options have come in, and then, okay, today I prefer sushi, or tomorrow I prefer Thai food.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's true. If you are a business owner just starting out, it's very difficult, especially if it's your first time, to understand how to spread these very limited resources you have. Time, money,
Absolutely.
energy. And on one side, you're saying you can invest in more stock. And the other side is you could invest in some long-term marketing. I think you have to go through phases of development of the business. When you're starting out, you need the sales to then provide the funds so you can reinvest in other things. And
this is a very important point you mentioned here. So when they start selling, sometimes, and in most cases, when you start a small business, the first people who start purchasing is your first group of friends, or your circle, your relatives, your family, to support you.
Yeah.
That money, the profit that you make from the first few months cannot be considered as profit. Business owners cannot
take it out and buy a car.
Exactly.
They have to reinvest it.
Do not rush into, living the luxury life of a business. No, you have to reinvest in your brand to make it bigger and bigger. That money can be put into marketing, or can be put into restocking, or can be put in so many different venues where that can help the business grow.
Do you feel that, what did you do before you started Queen Bee? Did you have any business experience beforehand, or was that your first real instance of business?
I work in corporate all my life. It's been more than 8. Yeah, it's almost 9 years now. I do marketing for corporate.
What did you do before? So let's go to almost the beginning, because this is very important. You started a business, not one day you thought, oh, there's a gap in the market, let's do it.
No.
You've had years and years of developing small skills that you've managed to then channel into your first big project,
Absolutely.
Queen Bee. You're not learning as you're going. Well, you are, because there's loads of challenges you couldn't have imagined. Yeah. But before that, you'd also developed. So it would be very interesting to learn how you developed some skills before. Tell us about your journey before that. What did you, from the very beginning?
Yeah, I studied engineering. It wasn't something I was passionate about, and I always say...
Was it something your parents were passionate about for you?
Exactly, spot on. Given that you were not raised in a Middle Eastern society, but you understand it.
Yeah, because I'm an engineer as well, so...
Yeah, it was my dad's passion.
Yeah.
And
to be fair to my parents, they said, as long as you're happy, we're happy. I naturally gravitated to it.
The influence of UK.
Well, yeah. But no, I gravitated to engineering, but that was because I was quite good at maths, physics and chemistry, and I was like, this is a good way to channel those skills into something that society values. And then I had a different trajectory, but let's talk about your journey. So you became an engineer.
Yeah, I was really good at physics as well. I like it. I enjoy physics, but it's not something that I had, a lot of passion in, Anyways, I studied engineering and not architecture engineering, electrical engineering.
Okay.
It's so not something I would never think that I am passionate in. It's a funny story, but it's not the time to discuss now. So after I graduated, I started working in, I've changed industries, but in marketing function across industries. I've done travel and tourism, I've done telecommunication, and then FMCG.
Fast moving consumer goods.
Yes, exactly.
I did a bit of that as well.
I think it's the most fun of all industries.
It is interesting.
It's really fun, and it teaches you so much.
From A to Z.
Especially
much. If you have a product.
Yes.
Like service, you can still learn a lot from that. But if you have a product,
it's very complicated.
And then especially if it's a big company, the factories, how all of the departments are.
Yeah.
Just figuring out how to solve the same challenge from the marketing, from the logistics, from the supply chain, so you had that experience as well.
I was lucky enough to work for an international FMCG, and the thing about...
We can drop names. I work for Unilever. Where did you work for?
VAT.
Okay.
Yeah. So in international companies, they teach you... It's a whole new world, It's because I've worked for local companies and international as well. I know the differences.
So you've taken the insights from both. You understand how the mindset differs from both sides. Yeah.
International companies, you feel like they are way ahead of everyone else. Way ahead. They don't live in the present. They understand fully the present, but they all live in the future. Yeah,
like Q2 in 2027, they're already thinking about.
You sit in meetings talking about 5 years from now, and it's legit. It's not just, talk in the air. No, it's legit. It's actually something that they're planning, and they start working on it from the present. And it's just, I think I personally didn't have that mindset. That was kind of a
You cultivated it in that?
it was an opportunity for me to learn something, and that was, you know, a thing that I needed to develop, you know, in my personality. I would say that because we lived so many years in war, that led people, Iraqi people, to think of tomorrow, maximum, today and tomorrow. They cannot think of a year from now because they don't know if what will happen. Is it going to be, I don't know, is it still going to be war? Are we still going to be in the same situation as now? Will we survive? That's the most important question.
100%.
We don't even know if we're going to survive till tomorrow.
And it's rightly so. Now, places in the world that are struggling with war, they're not thinking about, oh, I wonder what crypto is going to be like in a year from
or
now.
Or recycling plastic. Or
there's like a hierarchy of needs, and obviously the fundamental is
Absolutely.
safety, health. Then you can go into other areas, and eventually you can get to a point where you can think long term about products or services or holidays, anything.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the differences between local and international companies. Local because they are, I mean, there are local people driving the business. So, and I mean, I assume that there are so many other people like me with the same mindset and the same, you know, they think the same way. So I understand that they can maybe maximum think of 1 year ahead. They don't think of 5 years or 10 years. I'm not generalizing. Of course, there are so many other local companies that think differently, but at least this is my experience. Yeah. But for international companies, and the thing that I learned from international companies is to believe in marketing. It's not something that you need to see results tomorrow to understand that it's successful. You have to believe in it. It's like faith. You know it's going to work, but you're not sure. Yeah, but you have to be sure that it's going to work. And you plan for it, you follow the plan, and if anything sudden happens, some they call it pestle, which is political economy, blah blah blah. People can Google it.
Yeah.
If any of these things happened politically or economically, some changes happened, technology happens, you know, changes every day. So if any of these changes happened along the way, you have to quickly adapt to the changes and then continue.
Yeah.
But don't lose focus on your direction. Do not lose focus on why you started this.
Yeah, 100%. That brings in resilience. We've talked on this show before. You have to have a problem-solving mindset. You have to be resilient, and the ability to pivot when things don't necessarily go to plan. If it's in the business internally or externally, market conditions, the economy, the geopolitical landscape, whatever, you should be focused on moving forward and using what you have, your resources, but also what you have in terms of the circumstances of the environment. So very important. And but for you, that was almost as if it was like your apprenticeship. You've learnt skills,
Yes.
You've understood mindsets, you've made probably contacts as well that helped you, mentors along the way that supported you to develop to the point where you could feel confident enough to start Queen Bee. And your partner, tell us about her. Is she from work? Is she a friend from back in the day? Or because she obviously complements you. I'm not saying you have a lack of skills that she feels. No, together you're combining both your skill sets to be able to create Queen Bee and build to having a second brand. But tell us about that. So can we drop names, or can we tell us about this person? Because I have a partner as well in my business, and very important. It's so to know that you have someone with you that has understood how it's been since the very beginning until now, and every small detail along the way. It's like you can have a conversation with this person, they just get it. Whereas if you have this conversation with your partner or something, they'll get it to a degree, but they will never be able to 100% get it. Whereas if you have a partner, then you can.
So look, I'll tell you something. I personally believe that we all have areas for improvement. No one is perfect, and whoever thinks that they can do everything perfectly, they don't know anything.
Well, this is the person that will not be able to learn new things, because if they feel like they learned it all, then unfortunately
They're
that
not.
reality for them is not the reality.
They
of,
live in a completely different world.
yeah,
So when when you realize that you have things that needs improvement, yeah, I mean, you're good at something, but you're not that good at something else, and you need to learn, or you need to have, a partner that is good at that kind of domain, so that you support each other. And this is exactly my case with my partner. So I have kind of two partners. So one of them is my husband.
well, this is, by the way, I said the partner of life, the husband, and the partner of business,
Yeah.
because the partner of business would 100% get the business with
Yeah.
you. The partner of life, your husband, may not get to 100% because they don't have all the context,
Yes,
but you have both supports though.
absolutely. And
So,
that's a privilege, and I'm very grateful for that. My husband is he's my number one support. He's been supportive of all the businesses that I thought about, not necessarily actually did, but he's really supportive. And even with this abaya business, Queen Bee and Ain, he's been my number one support since the day I started, financially and even psychologically.
Yeah, and they both are very important, but the
Absolutely.
psychological one can't be understated.
Oof.
It's
You
tough.
have no idea how many times, and he's more experienced than I am. You have no idea how many times I've come to a decision that I'm so done with this, and I want to stop this business. I don't want to continue anymore. Breakdowns, and then he comes and like, relax, everything's gonna be okay. This is business. One day you're up, one day you're down. You have to kind of believe in the business, and then he reminds me of why I started, and of everything. So for Queen Bee, he's my only partner. We started the business together. He's supporting me financially and also mentally, as I mentioned. And then with Ain, I have a partner. She's my best friend. She used to live in Erbil, but then she left me and she went to the UAE. She lives there now. But that's also a good thing, because
You have the center now in Erbil,
Exactly.
in the UAE.
which that allows us to kind of ship internationally. So it came with its own benefits. But
Yeah.
I mean, I lost having my best friend around.
Next to you, but you can still communicate regularly, and that gives you more of a reason to go and visit her,
Yeah.
and her to visit you. So
Yeah, I take the opportunity every time her husband is not around. The first flight.
no, but it's good. So you have two partners then, almost, because they're two supports. You have the partner
Absolutely.
in life, but that's also your partner in business, your husband,
Yeah.
and also another partner in business, your friend in the UAE. That's actually really good. So you have multiple levels of support for the business. Outside of the business, have you had any support? Do you have any mentors, or how do you keep your mind focused on developing new skills aside from just working in the business? Do you have like any sources like podcasts or reading books, or do you do anything like that to support you?
This is an area for improvement, for development for myself, because I didn't quit my corporate job. It didn't leave any free time for me to do anything extra, and especially that I have my corporate job, and I have these two businesses, and then I also have the influencer kind of thing going on right now.
Oh, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
How do you have time to that's actually a very full plate.
Yeah.
And you have time to have, so you're married. Do you have any children, or
I have two cats.
You have two cats, so
Yeah.
they're your two babies. They don't require high maintenance.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the good thing about cats.
Yeah,
but
they take care of themselves.
Yeah.
But that's a lot. So you're
It's a lot.
working full time.
Yes.
You have these. I've met people, they have side hustles, but I don't know. It's just sometimes. Do you ever think, what would it take to get Queen Bee and Ain to a point where that could be your main hustle? Have you thought about
Yeah.
what that process would look like?
Absolutely.
Is that an ideal for you? Eventually
Absolutely.
building it to a point where you can focus on that full time.
Absolutely. This is why just a month ago I quit my job, my corporate job, to kind of give my focus to Queen Bee. I'm testing. I don't know.
Before, I know you've not done this for a while in terms of, it's only been 1 month since you quit,
Yeah.
but I'm going to give you something that is a fact.
Please do.
I know for a fact that your business is going to improve a lot from here on in, even more so than it's done before. The reason being,
Time and effort.
you've got time and you've got effort that you can dedicate from where you were channeling it before to your corporate job to now just focusing.
Yeah.
That in itself is going to solve so many, not problems, but challenges that you would have had before, and you can build faster, better. You focusing on one thing. And by doing that, it really opens the mind to endless possibilities of thinking about solving problems in new ways. So I think this is one of the best things that's going to happen to your business, focusing on
I
it full
hope so.
time. Honestly, are you excited about this?
I'm scared,
Yeah?
to be honest. I mean, because it's a risk eventually, and you know, being used to corporate for so many years, and you know, you kind of know what the future holds, right? Because that's the way it is in corporate.
Yeah, you get your
know.
paycheck, you get your promotion, you get your...
Exactly, and you kind of know how it's going.
The
you know.
trajectory is clear.
Exactly, it's not very mysterious. But for my personal business, it's unknown.
Yeah, it's uncharted waters.
You just have to have faith, and that's
Yeah.
all. And do your best, obviously. Faith alone is not enough. You have to have faith, and you have to work hard for it.
So I have an education business, and we've developed brands in so many different areas and so many different courses to help students develop. And when you think in an entrepreneurial way, you always think of opportunities, because to be an entrepreneur is to spot things that people might not spot so easily. And you could go left, you can go right, you can go up, you can go down. One of the key muscles to develop alongside that ability to spot those opportunities is the ability to focus on the ones that are really going to be the ones that are going to be worth it, because you have a limited amount of resources. But now you've got almost unlimited amount of resources in terms of the time and effort that you can focus. And I think that's something really to cherish, because for me, until I could focus fully on my business, this is more than 7 years ago now when we first started, that's when I started to really see some big results. Whereas before that, because it was a side hustle almost, it was just like dipping a toe in the water, then coming back out and doing something else.
Yeah.
Your mind was never fully engaged in it. It's like, because you were always focused on that to a degree, maybe 25%, and then the other 25, 50%, and then you've got your life.
You're
and then
splitting your focus.
Focus is key. And that's, I think, when people start a side hustle to make it a main hustle, that's one of the first milestones, like a real solid milestone they should strive for, to get the side hustle to a point where it can become their main hustle. Because once they get to that point where they can get that financial, like the ability to self-sustain from their project, they can then invest themselves in it fully. And then it's only going to get more. It's only going to get higher. They're going to have more opportunities to grow the business, to make partnerships, to discover new ways of operating, and
to kind of expand the horizon as well. I mean, not necessarily, sometimes when I think about it, it's not necessarily opening a third business, but kind of, you know, expanding the variety of products that we offer, but under the same umbrella, you know, like what comes with abayas, like dresses, you know, the kind of dresses that is worn with abayas, some stylish hijabs, some kind of shoes that goes, because there are certain shoes that, you know, goes better with abayas, and that they're actually made specifically for abayas, you know. And you know what's really amazing? If you go to, for example, the high-end brands in the UAE and the Gulf countries in general, you will find some options of shoes and generally clothes and everything that is not available in Europe. For one reason, because it's in the culture of the Gulf countries. So I'll give you an example. Is the, you know, the dress, the dress that the man wear, you know, the white dress.
yeah,
They wear with it a slipper. This is the uniform, let's say, or the dress, their cultural dress. If you look back, brands like Hermes, for example, they started offering, and it has a specific shape, by the way. It's not just a random slipper. No, it has a specific shape so that it's comfortable. These brands started offering this kind of slipper for that market. Just thinking about it, like, because, you know, Hermes is one of the biggest brands in the world. Them adapting to a culture is very, I mean, it's astonishing, honestly, thinking about it. this is, and all the other brands started following the same strategy, and even clothes, for example, in the Gulf, Valentino, as an example, they started offering modest dresses, that looks like the Arabic dresses. This is amazing. I mean, these brands are adapting to the kind of the culture in these Gulf countries. And then from there, somehow, even other cultures in the, European countries or the US or the other countries as well, when they started seeing these, this item, this product, and they tried it on, they liked it, and now it's spread across.
Yeah, so it's born there, but then it can leave its nest and spread around the world.
This is when a culture meets an international brand. This happens, this specifically the man, the slippers that the man wear.
But you can reach that level of creating a product because you can understand your audience to the degree that you can then, so like you're building the brand now, you now have a loyal audience. If you know who they are, you can just think about your ideal customer type. You can be like, okay, I've solved this problem for them, but what are the problems, or what are the solutions of dress wear, or what's the mindset of this person? What could they wear? What would they like? How can I create something that's also going to help them in a different way?
Yeah.
And because you can do that, you start somewhere and then you can build to, let's say, the footwear that you just mentioned now. That's what happens when you have that level of understanding. And you can only do that with really, really thinking in their mind for so long and supporting them and speaking to them. Customer inquiries, they've probably asked you for a few things that you guys don't yet provide, but you're keeping a backlog of, this would be interesting. If we were to do something next, we've had a lot of inquiries for something like this.
Absolutely.
And so you can then branch out into other areas.
Yeah, very true. Let's also talk about some of the challenges that, we face specifically in Iraq.
Yeah.
Because as you rightfully mentioned, what consumers or customers are facing, what are their needs? And this is something, research. This is what I've learned in international companies. Research and studying the market is your key to success. Because as you mentioned, this is how you understand what customers need, what are they looking for, what solves their problems. Maybe because, maybe me and a bunch of my friends do face a problem, but that does not mean the bigger audience are facing the same problem. Maybe we're just 10% of the community.
Yeah.
Is it worth it to actually develop and work and put so much effort on 10% of the community, on the market? I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's not. It all depends on the market study and the research. And this is something we kind of lack in Iraq. And this is also a gap for, businesses to kind of think of doing research in all different industries and start selling these researches to businesses who are willing to kind of invest, right?
It will actually save them a lot of effort if the business invests in that level of knowledge, because if
hitting the target would be much more precise.
Because you can have loads of data points that aren't going to be an accurate representation of everyone.
Absolutely.
You're going to have a few people that are interested in this, but 10%, is that even worth focusing on? Whereas if you have a growing body of evidence that suggests 50% of your audience are going to be very interested in this, well, that's something worth considering.
Yeah.
So again, that research, a lot of businesses might have to navigate that journey on their own, trying to figure it out, or have decisions to judge whether or not it's a good idea to be like, we had a few inquiries about this, shall we go and do this? You're not sure, you have to take a gamble, or you have to create your own tests to try and simulate if that is a demand. And I think that's what you did at the beginning before you started Ain, when you did the what was it you started?
But that was kind of shooting in the dark.
Yeah.
It wasn't at all based on a solid market study. It was based on few people talking here and there, me catching words here and there, and then testing it on a very small scale with Queen Bee, and then everything was looking positive, and then we took a chance, right? But it could have went in a different direction. It wasn't the target was not clear for me at that time. We were just trying. And this is, what businesses can do, either they take a chance, they shoot in the dark, and then they hope they hit the target, or they do research, which is, and I've seen so many businesses, by the way, do research, but then they don't do it right.
Oh, okay.
They kind of do this Google thing. They do it on it's for a survey, and then they start publishing it online, and people please answer, and then they start asking their friends or family, etc., etc. But then I've seen this a lot when you receive this survey, and it has few questions, and it tells you that this survey will take 1 to 2 minutes of your time, but people, they don't pay attention. They don't do it, with full conscience. They just yes, no, without even reading the question. This is really dangerous, because this will eventually give wrong data, and that business owner is building their plans based on wrong data. Then you're not just shooting in the dark, you're just shooting everywhere.
It's difficult. If you ask for that information, you won't usually get the right information. But what I've found before, when I've been trying to figure out if something is a good idea or not, I try and test the demand, the willingness to pay. So in your business, I would maybe do something like try and get pre-orders before actually creating the product.
This is how we started Queen Bee.
Yeah.
Pre-orders. Everything was customized.
You know, people would pay for it if they have it.
Yeah.
So it's like before you've even laid the first brick of your building, people would buy it.
Exactly.
And that allows you to move forward with confidence, being like, oh, I've got 100 people waiting for this product, which I've not yet created, but I've said in 1 month or 2 months, we can create it, we can give it. We just need your commitment now. Maybe they have to put a deposit or something.
This is where it's challenging, because we're here.
Yeah.
This is exactly how we started, by the way, in Queen Bee. We used to take orders, and then we customize it based on their sizes as well. But we cannot take advance payment from these people, because there is no possible way. There's no online payments. You cannot. Everything is cash on delivery.
This is the tough thing here.
Exactly.
This is a tough thing. Like for me, I'm talking about in England. I love it.
You pay in advance, full.
Well, this is the thing. Actually, this is paid if it's B2C, business to customer, or B2B. It's just a contract with the business.
B2B would be much easier, because you're talking to one person and you're selling them bulk.
Yeah.
But my business at least was B2C, and we had to take a risk. So let's say we take 200 orders, let's say, and then out of these 200, we're putting in a percentage of, let's say, 10% or 20% of risk. These people will change their mind, because this happens all the time. People don't answer, people don't take their orders, they just come up with...
That's tough. So even the data you get isn't reliable. That's tough.
Yeah. So this is what I'm telling you. If we have a solid research company that provides insights for different industries, such as fashion industry, it would have been much, much easier for business owners to grow faster, to provide the right product and the right value proposition for the customers, to give you what you need. But without that in hand, it's kind of trial and error. We try, it either succeed or fail, switch to something else, try, and then...
It's inefficient.
Exactly, and it's time wasting, but
it's motivation wasting. If you keep trying and failing, there's only so much of that you can do before you're like, you go through that problem again where you're like, you're going to your husband, you're saying, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And then he's got to be like, all right, let's go back to why you started this again.
Sometimes, by the way, it even impacts the health. So I'll tell you one story quickly. I don't know if we still have time.
Take as long as you need.
So one day we had Ramadan. So Ramadan for Abaya business is 50% of the sales for that year.
Okay, so you have some seasonality in your business then,
Absolutely.
Yeah? Okay.
And Ramadan is the peak season. I'm telling you, it's like 50% of the sales happens in Ramadan and 50% on all the other months combined.
Okay.
So it was right before Ramadan. We had pre-orders. It was back in the days when we were taking pre-orders. And, we promised people are waiting for their orders and etc. And then, I went to Dubai because we manufacture everything in Dubai. So I went there to kind of, quality control and check everything is in place. All the orders, all the fabrics, everything is all 100% correct and no mistakes. And then I went there, and then I find out that it's not ready. Nothing is ready. And we're just few days before Ramadan, and we've promised so many people
Oh wow.
that your order will be there just in time. And it's Ramadan, it's the peak season where people actually, because that's kind of a culture, it became a culture that people, even if they don't dress abaya, they don't wear abayas, they start wearing it in Ramadan to kind of, live that kind of experience. So it was devastating for me, and I felt my health was at stake. So then we started sending messages to people like, we apologize.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You couldn't solve it?
No, it would. The solution was to wait another 2 weeks, and another 2 weeks that would have been, and then shipping takes all by itself like a week, 10 days or so.
Oh wow.
And then that was a 3 weeks delay. That's kind of
And
into the middle of
Ramadan is
Ramadan.
finished.
Yeah, people wouldn't need it anymore. And they're like, it's not only that we had, we lost the sales, it's also we lost the
trust of the customer.
Exactly, which is much, much bigger, and it's a long-term thing. So we had to send apologies to the people. It's something out of our hands. We're doing our best, but this is all what we can do. And it was mainly because we were working with a non-reliable source.
And you only realized it then?
It was too late to realize, and they kept lying to us. The supplier kept lying. They kept lying. And then eventually we took a hit, right? So we gave them a really huge discount just for them to, kind of pick up their order, to take it, and not because we were trying to minimize our loss. Because if all of them decide not to take it, this is a much bigger hit.
Yeah.
So we offered them a really huge discount just to, hit our ROI.
So this is for the delay.
Yeah.
So they're still going to get the same product. It's just going to be delayed by a few weeks.
Absolutely.
And even though it's past the time at which they would have really wanted to have received it, you still managed to keep the sale, even if it was discounted. You might have got some cancellations.
Absolutely. Almost I don't know, 35% of people canceled their orders. But yeah, and we didn't make any profit on that year, but it was okay because
that is a life lesson.
This is business.
Yeah.
It's ups and downs, and with a market that is so unpredictable, and challenges come your way without you predicting it. And so another challenge we faced this year, also with Ramadan, it's a completely different challenge that no one would have thought about. So remember, end of last year, the UAE government decided to stop giving visas to Iraqis.
Yeah.
That was sort of the blue. You would have never imagined that UAE would stop giving completely visas to everyone, because you know that Dubai lives on tourists, right? This is the economy is basically dependent on tourists. How would you stop 40 million people? I mean, a population of 40 million people to completely
have easy access like before. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we never thought that this could actually happen. And at the time, I used to go back and forth using visas, and my visa used to come out in less than 24 hours. So it was time where we had to start purchasing fabrics and submitting our designs to the factory to start working on it, because production also takes a lot of time. It's almost 2 months, and then photo shooting, and then shipping. The process is very long. So we had to start by end of September, early October. The visa did not come the first time, and I applied again. It was rejected. And my third time, it was rejected. And I was like, and then I started breaking down again. So, but here my husband came to the rescue, and he had iqama in the UAE. So he applied for reunion, family reunion. It was rejected. Imagine, even for a family reunion.
So that's 4 rejections.
Yes, I was devastated.
Whereas before you would have never had an issue, and now it's just like a...
This is the pestle.
Yeah, so this is... You have to adapt with the environment. So
exactly.
What did you do then?
Exactly, that's... we thought of all the possible ways of fixing this. But we kept pushing. We paid a lot of money to get a reunion visa and then turn it into an iqama in the UAE. So my husband obviously took care of everything. He immediately hired a lawyer. He traveled to the UAE. He stayed there for 2 weeks working on getting me visa, and then he got me finally visa. he fought literally with everyone on his way just to make that happen, and eventually it did. But it was kind of late. It was December, around December, when I got my visa and I traveled to the UAE, and then you know, I was between my job, balancing everything in my life, and everything was so not planned, So I had to balance
Taking time off.
And going to and it was holiday. We were going into Christmas and New Year, and suppliers, some of them were off already. Fabrics, everything. It was just so
A nightmare. It sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, but I mean, thankfully the factory were very kind of helpful. They minimized their production timeline, and then with the photo shoot they helped us. But even with that, everything was late. We only managed to get the products in Iraq warehouse by first week of Ramadan.
Okay.
Which was kind of also late because people start making purchases right before Ramadan. They kind of plan what they want to wear every single, outing or dinner they have during iftar, during Ramadan. But
these challenges, like this is the hidden stuff that not many people realize happens. They just think they order something and hopefully it's going to arrive, but especially here, so many behind the scenes things happening.
Yeah.
I think to navigate those takes a lot of
resilience.
Strength. Yeah, I think a lot of people might have just called it a day, but I'm guessing you spoke to your customers during those tough times. You were being honest. You were saying to them, look, this is the situation, really sorry, and you're trying to meet them halfway, giving them a discount because you're building for the long term.
We were actually, at that time, it wasn't pre-orders, it was all ready-made products, so it was much, much less intense with customers. So we were just telling them that it's going to be late since day one, because we knew back in December it wasn't new news, right? So we told them that it will be in Iraq in X days. So it wasn't kind of a problem, but we had problem with sales because people wanted it earlier, and if it's not there, I'll go for another option.
Tough. Business is tough.
Yeah.
Rasha, it sounds like it's been a hell of a journey, and it sounds like things are going well, and I really hope they continue to go very well.
Thank you.
What advice would you give to yourself starting, if you had to go and speak to your younger self in 2021 when you first started Queen Bee, what advice would you give to yourself back then?
To think bigger and to have more faith and to give it more effort, more time and focus and effort.
Rasha, thank you very much for your time. It's been a pleasure having you on the Startup Show.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing and hearing from you very, very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.